Everybody, welcome to another episode of Wander and Prepare. Today I have a really cool knife to show you guys. This is the Disaster Cub from Half Face Blades. So you'll see that little Half Face logo there. So those of you that don't know about Half Face Blades, they are known for making some really custom knives with some really nice handle scales, a bunch of different materials. But they are absolute tanks of a knife, and they are not cheap. Most of their custom ones are well in the $600-700 and up range, some of them even over $1,000. Even this one, which is their production line, still a pretty expensive knife. So this one is $325. So again, let's talk a little bit about it. So Disaster Cub, super EDC size, so really love that I can get a 4-finger grip on it, so it fits really well. The only complaint I have is, while this is perfect for an EDC size, I'm a bigger knife guy. I want basically a little bit more blade on this, and basically I want to put my thumb right there on the thumb wrap, but when I have my grip hand on it, I just want to rest my thumb right there, so it just makes it a little bit better for me. But I really want to put my thumb there, so I really want the bigger size, and they make a bigger size. So they make a Disaster Junior and a Disaster Breacher. So Disaster Junior is a little bit bigger than this, and the Disaster Breacher is a full-size knife, so really cool. So let's talk a little bit about this one. So the Disaster Cub, so this one has micarta scales, it has 3V steel, and it is an acid etched blade, so should not cause any kind of problems with wear, and really help with that 3V not being a stainless steel. Also, the blade is 3.1 inches and 8 inches overall, so super good size for EDC, but just an absolute beautiful knife. Talk a little bit about the sheath. The sheath is really interesting. So it comes with a ulti clip already on it, but on the inside of the sheath, I don't know if you can see that, but it actually comes with felt on the inside, so you don't get like that satisfying click once you put it in there, but has great retention. It's not falling out, so really good. Fits down in the pocket, so it's not exactly a deep carry sheath. I have carried this a couple times, so when you put it in there, it's a little handle heavy, so the handle sticks out a little bit. I would probably get the bigger size ulti clip so it sticks up just a little bit, and that will be a lot better, kind of hold it down in the pocket quite a bit more. But let's go ahead and take a look at it. So it's an absolute tank of a knife, so just look how thick that blade is. And then you can look at the side of it here. So all that thickness is all the way down through there, and then it has a little swerve down for the tip, but still super pointy tip. And then the edge comes down pretty sharply right there, and pretty crazy edge on it. So I think it's going to be a pretty nice slicer. Got like a little thumb wrap right there, but just a awesome knife. And then I tied the lanyard on it, so it's got like a little glow bead and then a little paracord lanyard on it. So all right, so let's put it on the table. Let's see how it actually does. I don't like just showing them off. So let's first start with the paper test, and let's just see if they send it to me sharp. By the way, they did send me this knife. I did not purchase it, so reached out to them, and they said absolutely we'd love to send you a knife to review. So super excited to have this one, but let's check it out. So that's me, not the knife, and my paper actually. There you go. So super slicey, but it is a really thick handle on there. So it is not, or edge rather, on there. So it is not as slicey as some of the knives I've had on the table, but I think it's going to be a good performer. Let's go ahead and see. All right, let's start with some cardboard. Let's see how it does with that. All right. As I thought, goes through that with ease. Now, because of the thickness of that blade, I don't know if you can see it real well. Ooh, what happened there? That was interesting. Let's try that one more time. All right, that was me then, not the knife. So because of the thickness of that blade though, so how it comes up right there, it's not going to be the slicey to say like a full flat grind, but definitely slicey. Does a great job kind of getting that off there, but as you see, it's got a nice flat cut, but not the sliceiest thing, and it kind of tears it right there towards the end, which a little bit is me hitting that sharpening coil because of the small blade. So it's not completely the knife's fault, but definitely something to note on the cutting test. All right, let's see how it does with some other things. So let's use the regular nylon twine, see how it does with that. So this is not climbing rope, this is just a very cheap nylon rope. Ha. There we go. So oddly enough, did not do really well with the box, but man, sliced that up like crazy. All right, now this is the survivor cord. I don't know if I can get it out, but right there you can see that little metal wire in there. And that right there is what makes it hard to cut, that little metal snare. So let's go ahead and see how it does. We'll first cut it this way. I could definitely feel that drag a little bit on that, but it definitely got through it. Let's see how it does on the table. Man, no challenge whatsoever. I mean, goes through that with ease. Yeah, I can feel that little metal snare. Let's go ahead and pull it out. Sometimes when you cut it, it wants to pull that metal snare out, but I can't grab a hold of it. I can feel it in there, but I just can't get a hold of it. But it's still in there. It did not pull the snare out. All right, so now let's try it on the clothesline. So again, this is some plastic clothesline, not the kind that's got metal in it. That'd be kind of crazy. It's just got little fibers in it. Well, let's see how it does on that. So talk about ergonomics for a second. So I always talk about how much of the blade I can use when I have it sitting flat on the table. Better than some, so it looks like right there all the way to the end, but don't have the use of that unless I'm cutting up high. But man, goes through that with absolute ease. No matter where I cut it, it does great. All right, before we go to that, let's go ahead and try the toe strap. So this one gave me trouble lately on a couple knives, so let's see how it does with this one. So this is a 24,000 pound toe strap. So I'm first going to try to cut it like this. See how it does. Got through it pretty good, pretty clean cut. A little bit of jagged right there. We'll see how it does, see if I can cut it on a flat surface here. Got through that relatively easily. Let's see if it'll do any better with the tip. So didn't get all the way through it on that first one, but almost. Give it one more go. Alright. There we go. Now I got it. Pulled a little of those fibers on the end, but that wasn't necessarily cutting performance. So went through that great. Alright, so now we have a reinforced fuel hose. So you see that reinforcement in there, and then you can kind of see the outside little pattern on there where it's reinforced. So let's see how it does slicing through that. So because of the thickness of that blade, it is definitely struggling to get through that just a little bit. There you go. Once you get through it, it cut, but not a pretty cut at all. Let's see. Yeah, let's use this side. Let's see how it does going through it there. If I can stop this from rolling. All right. Well, let's try to get this piece. There you go. Goes through that quite a bit easier that way. There we go. Much better. Because of the thickness though, it made it a little harder to get through that. Alright, so these will definitely be interesting. So like I said, it's struggling a little bit with the thicker materials. So let's see how it does first with the jute twine. So having to do some roll cuts on there, but cutting through it. Turn it a little bit, see if that helps. Definitely having to put some pressure on it though. Alright, there we go. Fairly clean cut, so it was cutting it pretty good. Now, that was supposedly the easy one, so I'm very curious to see how it goes through the polypropylene rope. So, if you remember, I got this at Tractor Supply, and I think it's around 1,000-pound tensile strength, but I did not have a knife that could go through it, so let's just see if this one can go through it. Check that edge. Yeah, no damage whatsoever. Having to saw it. Go ahead and turn it over. Definitely going to struggle to get through this one. Alright. See if I can get in there this way. Come at it. I'm determined to get through it at this point. Alright, there we go. Fairly clean cuts, but again, the thickness of that blade does it no favors in trying to get through tasks like this. So, alright. Forgot my cloth. Y'all know I hate a dirty knife, so I'm going to wipe it on my shirt. Alright, so let's try the zip ties. I imagine these are going to be a piece of cake. Super easy. I mean, easy work of that. Alright, step it up. That was a really light duty. Here's another fairly light duty. Again, goes through that with absolute ease. Same thing with this. No problem. Alright, stepping it up. A little bit heavier duty of a zip tie. Still really easy though. Man, really goes through that real easy on the table like that. Alright, now we're getting into the, sorry, that's actually the heaviest duty. Let's do this one first. So, still heavy duty, but not the strongest I got. Easy work of it. And easy work of that. Alright, so here's the big boy. This is the heaviest duty zip tie I have. 400-pound tensile strength. And let's see how it does with that. Goes through it relatively easy. Alright, having to put a lot of pressure on it to get through that. See if I can get this tip, go through it a little, there we go. Got through it, but had to put a little pressure. Really interesting too, so I sometimes forget to talk about this, but I'm having to put a lot of pressure, and while I feel it in my hands, not a lot of hot spot or anything like that. The only thing honestly that's getting me is I'm hitting that ramp right there with my hand. So again, when I have my full hand on it and I'm kind of choking up there, it hits right there, and that's hurting a little bit, but other than that, no hot spots whatsoever. So this is also, I said I'm not going to baton with anything that's less than 4 inches, but this can absolutely be a survival type of outdoor knife, even though it's pretty small size. So let's just see how it does at trying to do some feather sticking. Super fine little feathers there. Again, I'm not the greatest at feather sticking, but if I can do it, anybody can do it. But definitely create some little feathers. Pretty fine ones, if I must say so. Alright. Move all those little feathers off. So, it's not exactly touted to be an outdoor knife. And I don't know that it has exactly a 90-degree spine on it. But let's just see if it will throw some sparks. I actually don't know if acid etched blade will allow it to throw sparks or not, but let's give it a whirl and see. Whoa. Whoa, it throws sparks really well. Alright, let's see if we can start a fire. Alright, set that aside, set that one aside. Rough up my fire starter here. Get a few fibers out there. think that should be good. All right, let's see how we can do. There we go. So there you have it. And man, I love this acid etch blade too, so see if I can wipe it off here. Yeah, I thought so. So yeah, that acid etch, like, that's not like a coating on the blade. That's in there, so very solid, no issues, so that'll clean right off there. But love that acid etch coating, so really cool, and a heck of a knife. So I think it is absolutely something worth considering if you're okay with the price, but I also highly suggest checking out some of their custom stuff. Absolute works of art, so I just really love them. So guys, that's all I have for you today. Just remember, as we're out there wandering and preparing, let's make sure we do so by faith and not by sight. If you enjoy this content, go ahead and give me a like, give me a subscribe. I'd love to have you a part of the channel. Other than that, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much. Half Face Blades, Disaster Cub.